Now I'm going to show you just how easy it is to edit a video. And I think this is another little bit of a hurdle that some people look at YouTube and think, I don't know how to edit. That looks way too hard for me. And I learned how to edit just using just using iMovie on my iPhone. And I actually still edit on my phone. I bought a laptop in December and I'm learning how to use Final Cut Pro on it, but I still kind of go back to my phone just because it's so easy and it's quick. And I'm showing a very, very, very short clip here, but when I do a larger video, it can take me about 8 hours or so to edit it, and I'll usually end up with about 120 voiceovers or so when the whole thing is said and done. Let's take a look at really quick how to edit a movie on your phone.
We're going to use some video clips that I took of my puppy earlier today to give you a quick demonstration on how easy it is to take the recordings and make them into a video for YouTube. Using the iMovie app, I'm opening up to media types and going to videos, and it shows all the different clips that I've taken over the past couple days, which is way too many. And I'm going to pick a few that I feel would be good to make a little collage scrapbook of some cute things that Bailey has done. So I'm clicking the blue check mark at every clip that I want to include, and don't worry, you can always add in more clips later. I'm going to flip this clip into the landscape setting, so that way I have more screen space. iMovie gives you a few different options in terms of your transitions between scenes. I like to use the fade, and the preset gives you a 1-second fade, but I like to change it to 0.5. You can also adjust the volume on any of the clips you put in, and I usually take the volume out completely since when I film sewing, the sewing machine's very loud and it would really mess up my voiceovers. I also like to add a little bit of background music because it tends to fill any awkward quiet spots during your video. You can use preset soundtracks from iMovie, and you can be assured that those are always copyright free, so you won't get in trouble for any kind of copyright strikes. If you don't like any of the preset soundtracks, there's plenty of royalty-free music downloadable on the internet. You also have the option to speed up or slow down clips if you would like, so I'm going to make Bailey move a little bit faster here. I really like the ability to speed up or slow clips down, and you can also cut your clips if you have parts of the clip that you don't need. You just click on the clip, and when you're at the time point where you want it to cut, you use the little scissor option. It'll cut your clip, and then you can delete the part that you don't want. Then I'm just going to fix my transition really quick and go back and watch it again to make sure it looks how I want it to. Very good. I'm going to speed the second clip up all the way, but if you find that iMovie doesn't speed things up fast enough for you, you might need a higher powered software, or you can also use the time-lapse function on your phone. As adorable as Bailey is, I don't need 45 seconds of me petting him, so I'm going to go through this clip and decide where I'd like to cut it. While other Megan is figuring out where she wants to cut this clip, Recording Megan is going to point out that if you wanted to adjust your sound levels, you can do that within iMovie. So say your music's too loud, which it is to me while I'm editing this, I can turn the video down, and that way the music isn't too overpowering. Another really nice function about the preset soundtracks in iMovie is they will automatically wrap themselves up for you at the end without you having to edit them to sound like the end of the clip finished. Hopefully you just heard that ending. That's what I was referring to. So it puts a nice polish on your videos. A lot of channels have some kind of preset opening, and since I haven't gone as far as getting an animation made, I just use an image that I have in my favorite photos, and I set it so it zooms into the picture to look like it's a little bit animated. Given there are so many free resources on the internet, I tried to be as frugal as possible when starting my YouTube channel. I did pay for someone to do my actual Megan Grace DIY logo. I found that artist on Reddit, but otherwise, any of my other graphic design, I've used things like Adobe Spark or Canva in their free versions that are available online. Now that my opening's set, I'm going through and just double checking my transitions. When you change the speeds of clips, some of the transitions become not available anymore, so I'm changing that one to a black fade. I'm going to take the third clip and slow it down just a little bit because we all really need a little extra time to see that puppy tongue. And even though I've slowed that clip down and effectively made the entire video longer, the music's gonna automatically adjust itself for me. Now I'm gonna show you how to do what I rely most heavily on for any kind of vocals in videos, which is voiceovers. When I hit the plus button, I go back until I find the main screen that gives me the option for voiceovers. A recording box will pop up on the screen, and once you hit record, it'll count you down from 3, 2, 1. And then you record whatever you'd like to say with the phone about 8 inches away from your face. You can listen to your recording back and redo it if necessary. Welcome to my test video on creating videos for YouTube. Once you've completed your video, if it's under 15 minutes, you can upload it directly from iMovie into YouTube. If it's over 15 minutes, you'll have to save it to a separate storage device and then upload it to YouTube. Using the upload option in the middle of the screen, I can either send it to Facebook, to Instagram, I can save it on my phone, but I'm gonna click on the YouTube option and it brings up this screen. In order to get a nice clear video, I have to make my resolution at least 1080p or 4K. That does make your file sizes quite a bit bigger. Using the magic of video editing, I'm gonna cut out where it's exporting out to YouTube, but in reality, since this is a very short video, it only took about 5 minutes to upload. iMovie as an app or on the actual computer program has a lot more functions and cooler things that you can do with it, but this is just a short introduction to how you can easily edit videos and upload them for your students to YouTube.
Now, closing out that video, I want to point out that I was using my phone's microphone to do all of those voiceovers in the video you just saw. It's honestly pretty darn clear, I think. When I compared it to the Yeti, it really did seem the same. So if you are recording on the microphone on your phone, I do recommend that you make sure you hold the microphone away from your face, about 8 inches away. If it's too close, you'll get weird little like puff, puff, like puffs of air that hit the microphone, and it sounds a little odd. If you hold it too far, you'll get echoes. So about 8 inches is a really good distance. Moving on, I have collected the resources that have just been invaluable to me over the past year, and I'm going to share those with you guys. If you have this presentation as a computer file, you can click on all these links. If not, these are all very easily searchable on the internet. So there is so much free support out there for YouTubers. There are lots of people out there who are selling programs and plans and all of this stuff. You do not need to buy anything. There's plenty of free support. Now, here's some of the support that I have found to be the most helpful. First things first, Catherine Manning. I cannot recommend her channel enough. She is young, she's vibrant. I have been following her since she had 3,000 subscribers, and now she has 300,000 plus. And literally, her whole channel is simply dedicated to how can you grow your channel on YouTube? How do you format videos? How do you work from home and stay motivated and organized? How do you go through your analytics? She's so smart and so wise beyond her years. And it's been really great to follow her from a smaller channel to as big as she is now. She's successful for a reason, to be perfectly honest. And one of the things I absolutely love about her is she is very honest about the background of being a YouTuber for the long haul. You can watch other like kind of viral YouTubers that got famous over like 1 or 2 videos and then their flame dies really quick. I like her because she has a long-term plan of how to use YouTube to make herself an income for a long period of time and to stay popular for an actual length of time that will create a full-time job for her. She talks about health insurance, she talks about her taxes, and every month she goes through her analytics and tells you straight out like how much money she made, how she diversifies her income, how to analyze analytics to help drive your content. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. My secondary recommendation for people who talk about how to grow a YouTube channel is Nick Nimmin. He talks about thumbnails, how to grab your audience, how to, pull yourself out of a rut. Lots of great videos on his channel as well. Then you also need kind of a support system of people to talk to. And I really recommend our YouTubers and our small YT channel. Those are both Reddit subs. If you are not familiar with Reddit, I would think probably most of you weren't until about 2 weeks ago when the whole GameStop thing erupted. But Reddit's an online chat room, basically all these different little chat rooms going on. And You can find some really great resources there. And I have actually made friends in the our YouTubers in our small YT channel. I have a pen pal in Tennessee who also has a sewing channel, and we go back and forth. And we met in that sub, and it's kind of nice just to have another woman who actually also happens to be named Megan, which is great, that I can kind of chat with when maybe things aren't going as well, and we'll exchange like weird comments that we got and kind of laugh over them, and ask each other's advice before we do something new, or like she did a live stream for the first time, so we talk through it a little bit, and it's really really great just to have other people who can give you feedback on your videos, and if you're kind of struggling a little bit, you have a support system to turn to. And then lastly, TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an absolute invaluable resource. What TubeBuddy is it's a plugin for your computer, and you can have it as an app or on your as a plugin to like Google Chrome. And what it'll do is when you're putting up your videos and say you're putting in your like keywords or the tags for your video, TubeBuddy will pop up beside it and kind of show you like which words are well searched, which words are, it'll have two metrics for you. One, it'll say how much the word is searched and how many videos there are already in that genre. So that way, you want a word that is very well searched, but there aren't a lot of videos. Like you don't have high competition for that word. If you want your videos to come up high in the search engine, because absolutely first and foremost, YouTube is a search engine, and you want your videos to be the number one thing that comes up when people search for a topic. YouTube is TubeBuddy is free, but TubeBuddy also has a version that you can pay for. But I've used the free version, and I really do like it. Now, in terms of the other things for a channel, iMovie, I use that app on my phone, and that's free. If you have not an iPhone and Android, you can use Adobe Rush, which is kind of the intro level to Adobe Premiere. You can use Filmora. They have a free version along with a paid version online. Adobe Spark is where I do my thumbnails and my graphics, but I've also used Canva, which is again another website that you can have a free version and a paid version. And then in order to actually record this right now, I'm using a program called OBS, which records your screen and is great if you are teaching any kind of computer lessons. You can record your screen and then embed those recordings in another presentation if you wanted to. Alrighty. And the most important topic of the video, which I think most people came for, is how do you actually make money? That's probably the biggest question I get about YouTube is when I tell people that my channel is monetized, they're like, well, wait, like, how do you actually make money on YouTube? So I'm going to go into it very, very, very shallowly. There are, again, like if you go see those two channels I recommended, there's entire videos just on the analytics and optimizing your search engine and what your paid is calculated. I'm going to just barely scratch the surface of it in this video because I don't want it to be 2 hours. Now, how do you become monetized? You have to reach a certain benchmark of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. You have to hit those two things within 365 days. If you don't hit it within a year, your counter resets. So if it takes you 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers, you will not be given an opportunity to join the YouTube Partner Program. Okay, so I hate to see that, especially in the chat groups. People will be like, I hit it, but then I found out it was not within the 365 days. So be aware that's kind of a hidden requirement that's in the background. Once you hit that that metric, it's actually really cute. YouTube has like these little wheels that when you fill it up, it's like, oh, I can apply now. So you apply for the YouTube Partnership Program. So you're not automatically monetized. You still have to go through this application process. And when I got the email saying I had been approved to join the program or to apply for the program, I kind of freaked out because I read all these experiences online that said it took people like 30 days, 60 days to be approved. And while you're waiting to be approved, you're not making any kind of money on your videos, which it's not the end of the world, but it's still money is money. We all want to get the money in the bank. And I actually got approved in 3 days, which was fantastic. And I don't know if that's just because I have very wholesome content, or I mean, I really don't know why. I can't tell you, but it did only take 3 days. So if you read all these horror stories that it took forever to be approved, chances are there was something a little questionable about your channel. Okay. Again, just reiterating, do not use copywritten material. You will not be approved for the partnership program. You can get copyright strikes on your channel if you are not monetized. And 3 copyright strikes and your channel is shut down. And that's a real shame. You don't want to have a really good channel going and get shut down for something silly like you keep putting copyrighted music in your videos. So, how do you actually make money as a YouTube partner? First and foremost, you get ad revenue. And ad revenue is when advertisers put actual ads on your videos. And now those might be in the form of a skippable ad at the beginning, ads that roll midway through your video, text ads that are bars at the bottom of your video, any of those things that Google handles it all for you. You get 45% of what um, ad developers pay to be on your video, and it's all calculated in this big giant schema of things that I still don't quite fully understand. I don't know if anyone fully understands it, has figured out how to really like work that system. Everyone has different ways to do it, but it's not as simple as I make X amount per view. You can also do tons of things like super chats, memberships, Patreon. Super chats is when someone has a live stream on YouTube, and like I'll give an example. We were watching a stockbroker live stream on the GameStop scenario, and he would take super chats, which are questions that automatically pop to the top of the list, and someone can pay like $5, $10, $20 depending on the question to get their question answered live in that live stream. So that all that money goes right to that YouTuber. And then people could also be on there and ask free questions, but you might not get your free question answered. It's kind of a gamble. You can work with brand partners and do advertisements, reviews, trials. I just started kind of like dipping my toe in the water with this. I reached out to some companies that I really like and like appreciate their products. And one I decided to work with, and they sent me free products. So I did a video on it, and they were so lovely to work with. And then after the fact, they were like, well, can we share your video as an advertisement? And I'm like, heck yeah. Like I thought the product was great. And they ended up sending me a gift card for more products. And they told me if I wanted to try other things, just let them know. So we formed a really nice little bond there. So if you want to check out their products, it's on my channel as well. Um, you can become an affiliate for frequently used companies. So what an affiliate is it means you promote a product in your video. Like say I'm not an affiliate. I opted to not pursue this route yet. But just for an example, say in my video where I'm recommending sewing machines to beginner sewers, I can then put the links to those sewing machines in my description. And if somebody clicks on the link and purchases that product, I get a small commission because I recommended it. One of the biggest affiliate programs is Amazon's affiliate program. They've got some very strict rules. So if you opt to go down that road, make sure you read their rules very thoroughly because you can get kicked out very easily. I know from experience. and you have to just make sure you're disclosing in the description section of your YouTube video as well that your video contains affiliate links. But it is a great way to diversify your income. You can also use your channel to drive to other services like tutoring or an Etsy store, or more paid services like running PDs or anything like that. If you've got a website where you're selling merchandise or plans or anything like that, you'll see a lot of YouTubers that they'll recommend, make sure you check out my website at blah, 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 blah.com. And I've got all these products. So you can use your YouTube channel as an advertisement as well. So again, back to that question, what do I get paid per view? So it's a complicated question. There's no set value. It's a calculation for your audience demographic, your clicks per mille, how long people watch, and all sorts of other analytics like what time of year it is and what's your who's your demographic, like who's watching your videos. So I'm gonna just show you really quick a peek at what my analytics look like. Now, everybody's analytics are different, and this is the part that usually like blows people's minds away, that they look at the analytics and they're like, "Wait, what? There's all this data behind the scenes." So it might freak you out a little bit to know that Google and YouTube are collecting all of this data. It's not associated with any people, but it is if you are a data person and you like statistics and you're nerdy like that and your brain likes to dig into things like these, you can very, very easily get yourself down a total rabbit hole in terms of checking all this stuff and using it to drive the direction of your channel. So let's take a look. So as I promised earlier in the presentation, I'm going to take you through just some simple analytics that YouTube has available to you. You would be absolutely floored at the sheer amount of data that YouTube gives you to manage your channel. And I'm sure bigger channels have people who their only job, or maybe multiple people, I don't know, have
just all they do is look at the analytics for channels, and they look at trends and how things are performing and how to perform better and how to get more views. I'm just a little channel and it's just me who operates it. So I've done my absolute best to learn about analytics on my own. And there's lots of channels that all they do is talk about analytics and how you can ingest those analytics and use them to drive your content. But at this point in time, I kind of just look at them and I'm like, oh, that's lovely. Things are doing great. And I don't really use them too much to drive what I'm doing. But you'd be surprised that all of this is going on behind the scenes of every single YouTube channel. So I'm going to click on analytics here, and this is going to give me a snapshot of the month of January for me. Now, you can look at your data 8 ways from Sunday. You can look at it by week, by month, by year, by any month you choose. If I dropped this down, I could look at it by just the past 48 hours. There's tons of, you can do a custom range. There's all sorts of ways you can look at your data. But right now we're looking at my month of January. And this little guy down here, it shows me that, this is views by month. So you can see where I had better views, better months than others. So like here is May. Obviously May was a huge month for me because May was prime time. People were making their own masks and making their own PPE. So that's when my channel started to really like get a lot of traction because people were at home making those things. Interestingly enough, if we look at the month of December, I had 67,000 views approximately. And we look at the month of January, I had 78,000 views approximately. I actually made more money in the month of December than I did in the month of January because advertisers are paying more in December because it's the holiday time. It will show you your subscriber count. So it shows me how many subscribers I've gained per month. So again, May was when my channel started to really gain some traction. So I had a nice little pop in May, and then it's been pretty steady. I can count on anywhere between 1,000 and 1,300 subscribers a month. Now, what I've heard from other bigger channels is that you'll kind of float along at a certain steady pace, and then you'll have one thing that kind of pops you up to the next level, and then you'll float again along onto like a steady pace, and they'll pop you up to the next level. So right now I'm happy at my little steady pace, and I'm kind of just doing my videos, and if something pops me up to the next level, then that is great. Now, say we want to get even more in depth to look at this data, because this is actually just the kind of reduced version of it. This here is telling me what my top videos for this period are. So no shocker that my top videos are my PPE videos. So mask, this is my best video of all time right here, my bouffant scrub cap video. The ponytail scrub cap video, fitted scrub cap video. And it's funny because I look back at like especially the bouffant and the fitted scrub cap, and those were early videos, and I'm like, wow, I've gotten a lot better since then. But those are still, my most popular, most viewed videos. But beyond that, one of my best videos is this rhinestone video that I'll talk about it a little bit later on, how it had a much different trajectory than most of my other videos. So let's go to advanced. Advanced is going to like blow your mind. And again, if you are just starting, I don't recommend trying to get yourself crazy into looking at this because it really can like be a little overwhelming at times, but you can find out any information you possibly want in this advanced analytics. So one of the big things I think people should look at is viewer age. That's a big one because then you kind of know, okay, what percentage. I actually haven't looked in this in a little bit, and it's so much more even than it used to be. I used to have mostly people in 35 to 65 range, and I had like no one in this young range and really nobody in this range. So the fact that I'm growing more in this area, I'm actually kind of happy about that. But when it comes to advertisers, chances are if you have an older audience, advertisers pay a little bit more than if you have a younger audience. So having a little bit of an older audience is not a bad thing. You can also look at your viewer gender. And no shocker there, my viewership is primarily female. If we go to geography, we can see where people are from. And primarily the United States, but I also have people in India, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, my top 5 countries watching my channel. Another really, really helpful one is traffic source, because when you start to dig into the analytics and you want to use this to drive your traffic, you can see where are your people coming from that are coming to your channel. So I can go down here And suggested videos is my number one driver of traffic source, which means that somebody else is watching a video and the next video suggested is my video. So that's a good thing that my videos are being suggested in that content area. The bigger thing though is YouTube search. And see, it's a pretty big difference. I'm getting 23,000 views from suggested and only 16,000 from YouTube search. First and foremost, YouTube is a search engine, and that's where your search engine optimization comes in. And I don't think I'll be able to get into that in this presentation just for the interest of time, but that's what I use TubeBuddy for. And TubeBuddy helps optimize the searching for my video so that way when people do search, the first video that comes up is mine. Now, I am very lucky in one category. My Bouffant scrub cap video is almost always one of the first videos that comes up, and that's why it's gotten so many views. You could be in here, like I said, 4 hours. We can take a look at this. This is the last 28 days. We can look at the lifetime of my channel, and it will show here. I used to get, let's see, yeah, I've almost always gotten most of my views from suggested videos, but that'd be something for me to work on. That I know I should try to work more on my views coming up in top search. And if you do start a channel, this won't populate for a while because you've got to, build a little traction. And everyone says like the first year of your channel, the analytics, they're going to be kind of like all over the place. And like, we'll take a look at, let's see, I don't want to see revenue source, but let's see if we can look at just one individual. I want to show you one individual video. We can search here, scrub cap. Okay, so we'll go to this one. This is my best performing video. And you can see this is my views over time. So obviously I had like a nice little burst at the beginning, and then it's I don't want to say it's petered out, but it's kind of gone into a nice steady rhythm. So it's like I can kind of always count that this one's going to get some nice views from it. Again, just this video, you can break down now each video into the traffic source. So one of the cool things that you might use this for is I also have a Pinterest page, and I can put ads up in Pinterest. So if I look at external and click on external, we can break this data down even more. Once I'm in external, see, it will give me how many come from a Google search, how many are coming from WhatsApp. I don't know why it would come from WhatsApp because I don't do WhatsApp. But the bigger thing here is you can see 23 clicks that day came from Pinterest. And that was from the fact that I paid for a Pinterest ad. So you can kind of use that. Is it worth it for me to pay for a Pinterest ad to drive more traffic to my channel? Am I making more on the views of the video than I'm paying for the ad? All things that you can use your analytics to help your decision making when it comes to your channel. So before I talk your ear off about analytics, I'm going to go back to Megan giving the presentation. And if you guys have any questions about the analytics, I will do my best to answer them for you at the end of the presentation.
Now let's dig into specifically some of the videos that I've posted. I just want to show you some comparisons in the analytics. Back to that question, how much you get paid per view and why we can't really compare per view. Now, this is my best performing video, as I said before. It's a scrub cap video. It's the video that got me monetized, and it currently has 222,000 views on it, which is phenomenal. Like, in YouTube world, it's very small, but the fact that I have a video that's been viewed 222,000 times just absolutely blows my mind sometimes. And I'm so proud of it, and I'm so glad that it was able to help people. You can see here the views over time that I kind of pointed out in the analytics video, how it popped at first and then kind of evened out a bit. And then in terms of revenue, I posted that video in the beginning of May 2020. So it's been May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. It's been 9 months, and I made almost $1,400 on that video. So it's honestly like that's a vacation right there to me. I mean, that's not no money by any means. So this is where I'm kind of saying that you can very easily use this as a great side gig if your channel gains some traction. And you don't have to have millions of views in order to be making a decent amount of side money. Now, comparatively, this is another one of my really popular videos. Now, I posted this I want to say I posted it middle of August, so quite a bit later. It wasn't height of the pandemic and people searching for masks and PPE videos, but it did have a pop in the holiday time, like November to December, where I guess people were making more masks for family. And it only has 65,000 views, which is still a lot of views. And that one's made $630. So that has actually made, if you do the math, it's made more per view than the other video has. But the other video I've made more because it's been up longer. So it's all just this big combination of when did the pop happen? What type of people were watching it? Did they watch your advertisements? All of this goes into the calculation of how much are you going to make per video. And then lastly, I had mentioned my rhinestone video before, and some people will make the argument for shorter videos versus longer videos. And I tend to keep my videos, under 15 minutes. They're videos that, you can go in, you learn the task, and then you get out. But I do have a few, like this video is going to be one of them, that are longer form videos. And podcasters and people who do interviews, they make probably a lot more than people who do the shorter videos because people can just put their videos up in the background and listen to them driving the car and whatnot. Now, my rhinestone video is one of those videos that it's not for people to get in, learn a specific skill, and get out. It's much more informational. And I built it so that people could watch it and learn a great deal of content about rhinestones in this one specific 25-minute video. Now, when I first posted it, I worked really hard on this video. It's got pictures and clips, and it took a lot of editing and a lot of filming on my part and research. And I posted it, and it got like 20 views. And I was a little brokenhearted, but I just figured, what, whoever watches it, hopefully the few people that watch it get some information out of it. And it really started to blow up over time. And it now on average gets about 200 views a day, maybe a little less, which is a lot. Again, it's made me $200 since I posted it, and I'm still really, really glad that I did it because I get a lot of comments generated from that video itself, and comments equal engagement, which helps boost your channel overall. So, just in closing advice, if you have made it this long, congratulations. I know I talked a lot and just threw a ton of information at you. And hopefully, you're able to see the actual file of this presentation where all of the links are and all of those video tutorials. You can click on those on my YouTube page itself if you need to review anything. But just some closing advice from somebody who's been doing this for about a year, and I'd love to continue doing it. I really do like doing it. Start small and simple. It's very easy to get yourself kind of overwhelmed at first and be like, well, I want to make all these videos. And then you have so much like content and ideas that you just don't go anywhere with it. Get yourself a notebook, write down all of the ideas you have so you can get them out of your head and then pick somewhere small to start. Break down your skills into small, digestible pieces. If you want your channel to grow beyond just your students and you want to allow other people to search for your content, you have to make sure that your videos are searchable. So instead of just, you know, February 8th lecture, you need to say, well, I talked about paragraph formation, citing resources in MLA format. You need to break it down like that. So that way people can go to YouTube, how do I do MLA format? And then your video will pop up. Make your name unique and easily searchable. Because let me tell you, when you're out and people just happen to say to you, if you don't have business cards, they're like, oh, you have a YouTube channel? What's its name? You do not want to have to tell them, well, my name is Hello Kitty underscore 4738. People aren't going to remember that. I like my name because it's the only one out there. I was able to get it not only on YouTube, but I got the email, I got the Instagram channel, I got the Facebook, and I got the Pinterest. Like it wasn't taken by anyone. Oh, and I bought the website. I bought the megangracediy.com. So try to find a name that you don't have to put an underscore, you don't have to add a number. It's unique to you, and it's that way it'll always be the first thing that pops up when people search for it. Um, Great equipment does not make up for inadequate content. So I hate to say, I feel like I see a lot of younger YouTubers who are like, wow, but I have this fancy camera and I have this equipment. And they put so much money into the, start of their channel, but their actual ideas like aren't that great. So, you have to have really good content. And if you have, so-so equipment, you will, it'll make up for it. So you don't stress yourself about having the perfect equipment to start. make sure you celebrate your small victories. I mean, we all need a celebration here and there. We all need a goal, especially as teachers. It's a little bit of a thankless job sometimes. So just I take pictures of great comments like this one here, and I take pictures of meeting milestones. Like I met the 10,000. That was the first time I had 10,000 views on a video, and I like freaked out. So just make sure you're celebrating those small goals. Give yourself a pat on the back for working as hard as you do. And just overall, as an educator, YouTube has really helped me improve my teaching skills overall through recording myself. And then once you put your content out there, people don't hold back. If something is confusing or not clearly explained in your video, people will tell you. And some people are nice and some people aren't, but you have to take all of the criticism with a grain of salt. And that way you can improve. It all comes down to, are you willing to take criticism in? Just like your students, you give your students feedback and they take it to improve. So you have to take feedback and use it to improve. And then lastly, I've also pushed myself to learn new programs and learn about analytics and learn this whole new wild west of virtual teaching because I think it's not going anywhere. Even when we do return to a quote unquote normal school setting, um, this is still going to be, one of the bigger platforms to teach on, and being able to learn as an adult from this kind of platform. Like people are coming to this platform all the time to try to learn new skills. So why not join them and learn how to use YouTube and use it to your advantage? And then I just included a little Easter egg here at the end. These are some of my favorite channels. If you're looking for something new to watch, I definitely recommend Oversimplified, which is comedic history. Lindsay Holiday is regular history. Bernadette Banner and Carolina Zabrowska are fashion history channels. Side Surf is this amazing, realistic cake decorating channel. And lastly, D'Angelo Wallace is one of my favorite commentary channels. He is like 22 years old. He's so wise for his age. And this video that I linked here is called Influencer 19, which is a phenomenal documentary he put together on the effect that online influencers and celebrities have had during the pandemic. So I highly recommend you give it a watch. I've watched him again from being a small channel up to like he has 2 million followers now, and he's a real star. He's gonna do some big things for himself, that's for sure. So that concludes the
I tried to be nice. I
presentation.
considered making this a chill video where I just
Sorry, D'Angelo,
vaguely
needs to keep. There we go. That concludes the presentation. I really do appreciate you sticking around for the whole thing. If you'd like to check out more about my channel, please find me at YouTube at Meg Grace DIY. Hit that subscribe and the notify button. You'll get alerted when I post new videos. If you really liked this and want more educational format, please let me know in the comments below because I would love to post more videos just how to do YouTube, and also how to do how-to videos and more TV almost type of content along with my normal sewing content. You can also check me out on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, if you need help, I'm a teacher. I've got teaching in my DNA. You can contact me at meggracediy@gmail.com. If you would like a copy of this PowerPoint and you're an administrator and you want to show it to your teacher, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to share it with you. So everybody, I hope you learned something today and have a great day. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.